Good afternoon, beautiful beings of light. Welcome to the Crone Zone Conversations with the Ancients. My name's Priscilla, and I'm a Crone, and this is my friend Heather,
And I'm
my
a crone.
fellow Crone. And today we are welcoming Juno from Junosphere. Yay!
Hi, everybody.
How's everybody doing this afternoon? We're going to talk about
White
ancestral
Dragon.
tarot today with Juno. Hi, White Dragon. Hi, Butterfly Kisses. Welcome to this afternoon's program. Your mandala is beautiful today, Juno. Tell us about it.
Well, this one is one that I did. It's kind of a mermaid-inspired one, and it's way bigger than what's shown. It's almost 50 inches across, and I even did a
Wow.
wave pattern around the outside. So it's to
Oh,
bring in
that's
the
cool.
water energy, emotions, and the water goddess. So that's
It is really beautiful. And I have my watercolor on today too, my teal blue. We're so cold here that we're in layers.
Yes.
It was
Yeah.
like 58 this morning.
I don't know. It was cold.
That's cold for us.
it's about the
Yeah.
same here, maybe 54. It's cold here.
And that's
Hi,
so
Janet
much
B.
colder than what normal we have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot colder. And I think we'll be back up to like 75 tomorrow. So
Yeah.
that was our winter.
Yep.
3 days of winter.
There you go.
Brought down to you via my son and his family.
That's right.
It didn't get cold till they got here.
Yeah.
And I think if it starts to warm up, it's because they just left. So
See,
I didn't.
Oh, I love
funny how
that,
that works,
Sheree.
huh?
I love this.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Cold, cold, cold.
Family.
Hi, Sheree.
Hi, fam. Hi, Sheree. You guys are our family for sure.
Yes.
Such a wonderful YouTube family. So, what is this big one? Is that a big selenite rod?
Yes.
Yeah, these are the crystals
like you
that I
got me.
use when I'm accessing the Akashic records. This is selenite.
That's
And
that's enormous. That's like 10 times the size of
I-
any
you
selenite
what I
I've
do
got.
is I
That's
have
like
this
you
one that
gave
I
me
laid
for
in,
Christmas.
I laid in front of my computers because it helps with the EMFs and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So,
Mhm.
and one thing about selenite is it's inexpensive.
Yeah,
So
that's
you can
true.
afford to get a larger piece.
Yeah, and you can find it.
Yeah,
Easy. Yeah, you
definitely.
can find it.
This one, if you can see, this is merlinite.
That's
And one of
beautiful.
our viewers today sent me this as a gift at Christmas time, which I just love it because I really have a connection to Merlin, and it's also helpful for accessing the Akashic records. This one is labradorite, which just has beautiful colors that
I'm wearing labradorite today.
Yeah,
Jim-
I've got a piece sitting next to my chair. It's a great big, and it just is beautiful when the light shines on it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I've got a huge one that I can't pick up to show you because it's about a foot tall and it's about 6 inches thick, and it's way too much. But labradorite harmonizes all your chakras,
Yeah,
among other things that it does.
Well, you
So
should
it's
be
really-
harmonized because
Yeah.
hers is about that
mine
big
is
as
about
well.
this big and
Yeah.
that big, but it's not near as big as yours. Like 8
And this
inches.
is a clear quartz heart. Everybody knows about quartz. And this is a black tourmaline. You can see that. Maybe put it up there against the white part. So black tourmaline is really good for grounding. And this is just a buddy that came along that the same friend that sent me the merlinite sent me it's a bloodstone dragon's head, which is really cool.
It is cool.
So lately I've been tuning into my dragon energy, and so I've been really enjoying that. I was watching John Binney today. He did a meditation to bring in dragon energy, and it just gave me chills right up my spine. So you might want to check him out after the show's over. It's a
John
really
who?
good
Binney.
JONBINNIE, John Binney from Scotland.
Thank you for posting that, Butterfly Kisses.
Thank
we
you.
decided we didn't want any more trolls like we had the last time.
We'll
Yeah,
whack
it was
them
an
with my
interesting
selenite
show.
wand. Pardon me?
That was a very interesting show.
Yeah,
I missed it. I'm sorry yesterday. I was
that's
Oh,
all right.
yeah.
Don't worry about it. It was
It's
Friday
okay.
anyway. It
Yeah.
was a mess, but we had fun despite it.
Yeah, if you wait on doctors, you wait forever. Because I was supposed to have, even with an hour and a half, I should have had a half hour leeway to get home. And I was still late.
oh
It worked.
Doctors they take their time.
Yeah.
Me too.
And we're flexible here. Our family on YouTube, I think, is pretty understanding and flexible, and
They
we
were
really appreciate
Our
that.
viewers were fantastic. They attacked that troll. They supported us. They stuck around while we tried to figure out how to get rid of it. It was just wonderful, and they all jumped in. So
Yes.
thank you to all.
One
that
big
watched.
family.
Yeah, we do appreciate it. So I think we have enough in the room. Did we say hi to everybody?
Sherry.
I do believe Cherie and
Janet.
Yep, White Dragon, Janet P.
Butterfly
Thank you, Deb.
Kisses.
Butterfly Kisses. Yep, she's
Yep.
posted stuff. So why don't we start talking about the Ancestral Tarot, and we actually have some slides, so that would be fun.
Yeah.
Well, to back up a little bit, to give you a little background, about, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, I started getting really deep into my family's genealogy. My grandmother, actually, on my mother's side, had our family genealogy done back in the early 60s when you had to go to Salt Lake City and do it by hand. And she had about 30 pages of information. And one thing,
Ancestry.com nowadays.
Yeah, but even that took a while to
It
learn
does.
to use.
My daughter's done that too. So
yeah, it takes a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out through that I was, I think, a second cousin to Grover Cleveland's wife. And so that sent me on that journey. And then when we started to be able to do Ancestry, I got really, like that's what I did for about 2 years every day, like 8 hours a day. Because I was really successful at finding things. And I have 5 Mayflower ancestors, which has been verified through the Mayflower Society. And I found all these interesting characters. And one of them was a pirate. There's a story written about him. He was called the Reluctant Pirate. If you want to Google it, his name is Captain John Fillmore Jr. And then another thing I discovered was that out of the 82 people involved with the Salem witch trials, whether they were the accused or the accusers or the magistrates, I'm related to 17 of them at least.
Wow.
And 3 of them were hanged. So it's like my studying my ancestry was a lot more interesting than soap operas or, anything I could find on TV. So I saw somebody on another channel that talked about a book she wrote about doing the Ancestral Tarot. So I got her book and I've been working with that, and it's been really fascinating to take what I've done is I've been working through it gradually, but I took the name, picked an ancestor. This time I picked the Captain John Fillmore Jr., the pirate, because I thought, well, that'd be interesting because I have a whole story, several pages that were written about him,
Right.
So what I did was I tuned into, I just looked at his name, his date of birth, his date of death, where he was born, where he died, and that's all I focused on. And then I pulled the tarot cards. But before we get into that, we'll talk about the 3 different types of ancestors that you can study. Oh, cool, Janet. Awesome.
Hi, T-Barb.
Hi, T-Barb.
How are you doing?
Jerry said something that was
and
kind
Starfish,
of cool.
hi. How are you doing? Who else said something?
There's a green heart on it that'll help Sherry.
Okay. Whoops, wrong one.
I got this big old one. We'll just knock them out.
Thanks, Sherry.
So what they talk about in the book, there's 3 different types of ancestors that we can look at. And if you want to put up one of those slides that we talked about.
Well, let's see which one pops up.
Yeah, we'll go with that one. You were so gracious to help me with the slides. I appreciate it.
I think the first one, do you want time? That's the first one.
Or do you
want blood?
We'll make it work.
Whichever one you want.
So the ancestors of time, we've all lived many lifetimes, and we're drawn to places and people that we knew in another incarnation. And ancestors of time are those from past incarnations, which include people and family from another of your incarnations. They can be as important to connect with them as connecting with ancestors of blood, because these other lifetimes still impact us today. And learning about these ancestors helps us to understand how past patterns have stayed with us through many incarnations and how to embrace them. Sorry, that was a typo. Heal them or let them go. And this group of ancestors includes people who could have non-genetic connections to you in this lifetime.
That's
So
cool.
the purpose of doing this ancestral tarot as a way of, understanding yourself or working through issues is, say you've got a family that maybe has a history of alcoholism or abuse of some sort or whatever it is, and you want to break that pattern by going through this process and learning more about these ancestors. This gives you tools to be able to break those patterns that are not healthy for us. We
Cool.
find out where they existed in our past incarnations or our past DNA strands.
That's really interesting. It's a bit like doing past life regression.
It is, but using the tarot to learn more about the people.
Cool.
So if you want to switch to your next slide.
Which do you want?
I'll go with what comes up. Okay. Ancestors of blood are those with whom we share genetic material. And some of you know during this lifetime, who these people are, like your parents, your grandparents. But there's those in past generations that you might have heard about, but you really don't know anything about them. I know my family didn't talk about, their ancestors, then they probably didn't know.
Yeah. My family really didn't either.
Yep.
And probably the largest group of people are these three types, which is the ancestors of blood, ancestors of time, and ancestors of place. So you share your DNA with them, physical traits, emotional profiles and behaviors, and inherited family patterns. And there's two categories, those you wish to honor and those who inflicted wounds that need healing. And just remember, you never have to honor an ancestor who made your life a living hell. So
I like that.
That's good. Yeah. I agree with that.
Just because we're learning about them doesn't mean we have to hold them up. We're wanting to go back and heal those wounds and help them heal their lifetimes, right?
Yeah.
And then ancestors of place. So unless you're like a Native American or, you really know your roots and your culture really well, maybe your family came from, like mine, a lot of them came from what they call the old country or from Africa. So you may have a genetic connection to these people, but may never have heard of them or had any awareness of their existence. They could have lived far beyond your recent memory, originating in a place you never knew as home. So for our purposes, ancestors of place are relatives who lived in your family's place of origin. Maybe you've traveled unknowingly to where they lived and you felt right at home there, but you didn't know why. I know that happened to me. That I've looked, now that I've done my ancestry, I'm like, oh, I went to Boston and I went to Salem. I didn't know that. I didn't know Rhode Island, all these different places. And then
yes, like I went to a plantation and I could have told you exactly where all the trap doors were.
Really?
But I'd never been there before.
Wow.
Wow.
And I was seeing in my eyes where, because it was only the servants, and that was the children's room, and it was only the nanny that came up through there.
Oh, wow.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Gives me chills.
Yeah.
So these can also be the spirits that our distant ancestors probably knew well, but may have become lost in our modern histories. Our long ago ancestors were so connected to nature that they knew a whole host of beings outside of our experience. For example, tree spirits, the moon goddess, thunderbirds. So these are other entities that we can learn more about by using the tarot cards in this process.
Cool.
So I've had a couple of past life readings, with Akashic Bob, and it's also come through a couple of other readers that they thought that I drowned on the Titanic. And I grew up swimming in lakes and rivers, natural bodies of water. We had a swimming pool at home. I was a good swimmer, never afraid of it. And then when I turned 33, I can't stand, even in a movie, to look down into the murky depths. It just freaks me out, even if I'm not there. And I'm not afraid that I'm not afraid to swim, but I just don't like that, looking at the seaweed and the kelp and all that. It just gives me the creeps. So I wondered why that is. And then they told me that I drowned on the Titanic. So I had played around with this ancestral tarot and I found out that I was a child in steerage on the Titanic, and I drowned. That was that lifetime.
Wow.
So that led me to want to do this. When I sat down with this book and said, okay, I want to see what else I can learn. So what I did is I picked out, like I said, a few of my ancestors that I wanted to learn more about. And if you want to put up the slide of the Page of Swords card. So when I wanted to focus on Captain John Fillmore Jr., you pull out just the court cards to find out who, identify that person in your that you're trying to work with. And for me, I pulled out the Page of Swords. And he was somebody like his father and his brothers. There's a whole lot of history about them and things that happened. Tragically, they were out on ships and there was a lot of fighting and whatever. I won't go into all that. But with so Captain John Fillmore Jr., who's my 7 times great grandfather, his father died at sea when he was like 9 years old. And when he became a teenager, like he had been trained to be a carpenter, but he wanted to go out and work on the fishing boats. So he finally got his mother to give him permission to go out on these boats. And he went on a boat called the Dolphin. Well, they weren't out there very long. I can't remember, a few months, and their boat was taken over by a pirate ship with Captain Phillips. And one of the other crew members on this pirate ship was one of Blackbeard's pirates. So these were pretty nasty guys.
Ooh, yeah.
So he was forced into becoming a pirate. Well, he was only a teenager, and he orchestrated a mutiny and totally took over and mutinied against Blackbeard's pirate and all the ones that took them over.
Wow.
So his story was really interesting. Well, so once I had laid out all my cards, this was just the first one, and I'm not going to go through all of them, but I did I think 5 or 6 different cards about my great grandfather 7 times back. So then I went and I picked up the printed out story that I had about his life. It was called The Reluctant Pirate. Now, if you want to go to the pirate page, please. So when I saw this and how similar it was to the Page of Swords, I gasped right out loud. And I had the most chill. You know how you get chill bumps or whatever, up your spine? I had the most chills I ever had in my whole life, and it lasted for about 10 minutes. It was.
I wonder if we can put them side by side.
It was just an incredible feeling.
No,
and I know that that's a tree down by his foot on the Page of Swords, but it sure, it's kind of in the same place that the boat is. And are you able? It's okay if you can't.
No, it wouldn't come up. It would just replace it.
So that just was so validating for me that I had chosen the right card to identify who he was. And, it was just so exciting. So then if you want
when that happens.
I'd had chills before, and I have felt the presence of, out of body people before. On a term that I have never had a feeling like this in my whole life. It's not that I felt like he was entering, my personal space or anything, but it was just that validation, and it went on and on and on and on. And I thought, wow, I want to do more deeper study on that.
Look at this.
There you go.
Swordfish. Oh my God.
So we should look and see if Captain Phillips was in your history.
Yeah.
That was interesting, Starfish.
Oh, interesting.
And just to think that this teenager could orchestrate, a whole mutiny of a band of real pirates. And then this is an ancestor also of Millard Fillmore, who was one of our presidents.
Wow.
So that's another story that goes. So I'm just showing this to give you an idea of how this works. If you're interested in having this kind of reading or studying this on your own. And I did another. Oh, do you want to? I'll be quiet now because I've talked too much.
No, go ahead. I was just getting ready for the next one.
The next one, if you want to show the Ace of Wands card, or Ace of Wands, yeah.
Ready.
So another one of my relatives I wanted to look at was a woman named Martha Carrier. And she was one of the first, she's a cousin. She's not a great grandmother, but she's a cousin of mine in Salem. And she was born in Andover, Massachusetts. And she was one of the women who was accused and hanged as being a witch. Well, the story behind that was her father and brother had died of smallpox, and she inherited the property. So the way to get the property was to accuse somebody of being a witch. What was really interesting was I have a book that when I pull a tarot card, this is I have several books that I reference for descriptions of the card, and this is the one that I chose to use. I probably got about 25 books on tarot, but this is the one that I chose to use when I was interpreting this ancestral tarot.
Right.
So in this book, what was really interesting is it referred to this Ace of Wands card as a witch's broom. And she was like the first witch in the Salem witch trials to be accused of riding a broom. So I just thought that was so fascinating.
That is fascinating.
And to see the correlation of that, because I had never heard of the Ace of Wands being thought of as the witch's broom before. So how interesting that the one book I chose to use to interpret the symbolism
matched with you. Yes,
that's wild.
Lined right up. And then if you want to show the one with the Page of Wands,
where'd you go?
Cool. So I have another cousin, and her name was Mary Perkins Bradbury. And she was like in her 70s when they accused her of being a witch. Well, her profession, her whole life was she made butter. And so she happened to sell butter to this ship's captain who went down to Barbados. Well, they didn't have any way of refrigerating the butter or anything, so it spoiled, and it caused a lot of illness, and all these things that happened because people got sick from the tainted butter. Well, of course, then they came back and accused her of being a witch. Well, when you look at how this Page of Wands is holding that wand with two hands, how do you churn butter?
With two hands.
You hold that, you know what I mean? You hold it with two hands, and that motion of going up and down. And there was more description in that Page of Wands card that lined up with what her life was about.
That's crazy.
Isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm.
So rather, I felt like things fell into places. I wasn't trying to force these stories into place, with the cards that showed up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my latest journey that I'm on, and I'm just really loving it. And it's helping me to understand myself better and why I feel a certain way about certain things. And
that makes sense.
So
what was the name of the book again?
What was the name of the book you just showed?
No, the one that you did the ancestry on.
The ancestral book. What's the name of it?
It's called Ancestral Tarot. Okay. It's by Nancy Hendrickson, and Allie Martin had her on several months ago on her channel. Right. So cool. I just thought it was the most fascinating journey, I've been so interested in. What's Harry saying?
In her 70s, being accused must have been terrifying. Amen.
Well, and they kept her confined in a place the size of a cupboard. And she was married, her husband, like they were respected people in their community, and over 100 people went and signed a petition or whatever you want to call it that said that she was not a witch, that they stood up for her and everything. And she ended up escaping. She was not hanged, but she was confined for a period of time.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
So are you doing readings for other people yet? Doing this ancestral tarot?
I'm just starting to offer that. I'm going to post on my YouTube channel. I haven't got it up yet, but maybe by the end of today or by tomorrow, I'll get the information up there if people are interested in having this work done. I'd love to work with you guys and see what we can discover.
I think that would
It
really
sounds
be
really
interesting.
interesting.
It really is.
Yeah. And it sounds like some of you already have some idea. So you working together, you could really get into detail and depth of what's going on.
There we go. How
Yeah,
do you
if you want to look, like I said, I'm working on, it'll be in my about page, about the about tab. There's the community tab, and there's a different tabs on the channel. And then you guys can contact me. My email is there. It's junosees@gmail.com. You
It's
can
actually
email
in
me.
the description of this video. If you'll go look at that, that gives you her email as well.
Thank you for that. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
that's at the top of the description.
So if you have done some of your ancestry and you know certain people that you'd like to learn more about, we can approach it that way, or we can just do it cold. We can just kind of see if you're wanting to focus more on breaking lifestyle, lifetime patterns that have gone through generations, or I just
It
think
would be very helpful for that, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just having lots of fun with it, and I'd love to work with you guys. So just
Another way for regression.
Yeah, it's really another way for regression. I think I'm going to have to try it with you, Juno.
I'd love it. And Akashic Bob has been working with me, and he's kind of mentoring me a little bit behind the scenes. So I also bring in that part of it, not just the tarot cards, but also working through the Akashic records. And I have
Cool.
an African tarot deck, and I have some Asian tarot decks. This doesn't just all have to be people who came from England and Ireland and Scotland or whatever. Oh,
I agree wholeheartedly.
oh, you humble me. Thank you. I wake up every morning and the first thing I ask Spirit is, I'm here to serve. Show me how I can serve. And you guys all just mean the world to me. I get verklempt when I think about how much I care about this family. And
we feel the same way. It's just changed my life.
Yes.
It really has changed our lives. This
It gives
group of
you
people
a whole new perspective of belonging
and hope for the future.
Mhm.
I mean, to me, I was depressed
me
thinking of
too.
collective.
Yes, it's just us. Well, this helps us know it's not
It's
just
not. There's
us.
so many hundreds and thousands of people that are
Mhm.
looking
Yeah, it
for
keeps me off the ledge,
looking for their spiritual growths, that it's just phenomenal. And
Yeah.
we're so lucky to have met so many of them through YouTube.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and
yeah.
like I lived in Sedona for a long time. I've been involved in the healing arts for, a few decades, and I never found a sense of community like this YouTube family we have.
I agree.
The level
Yeah.
of acceptance, and there's nobody who's trying to be in charge and take over and be the boss. We're all edifying each other and supporting each other,
And it cuts all the distance to pieces.
It sure
Yeah.
does.
Definitely. It just, I don't know. I just get choked up when I think about it. And I've been away from YouTube for a couple months because I've been helping my friend Tilly get moved here and all set up. And now she's here and she's situated, and I just love her to
Well, I'm
pieces.
glad you came on today because we've been missing you.
Yeah.
You've been busy.
You've been busy. I hope Tilly gets settled in and you guys get to doing something soon.
I hope she'll come on and maybe we'll do some fun YouTube things together. And
and have you decided? Have you
we could
decided
even
when you're
investigate friendships? There's other ways you can do this. You can take off on different avenues with this approach. And
Oh, I imagine so.
Hmm.
Well, can you give us any kind of demonstration of how that works?
Well, that's kind of that's why I did the other stuff to describe it. I'd have to tune into people individually.
Right.
I mean, I prepare a couple hours ahead of time and I meditate. There's certain processes that I go through, and
right. No, I totally get that.
Yeah.
I understand that for sure. What do you go ahead?
No, I didn't have anything. You've been asking a lot of questions, so that's fine. No, so they contact you. It's kind of it's a one-on-one type thing.
Yes.
Sure.
What I'm planning to do, and I haven't done it yet, but I know I have some other people in the community who've done this and will help guide me, is to do, like, I'll record a Zoom that they will be able, that I'll send to them, and I'll do the reading and the research, and then prepare a Zoom presentation that I'll email to them, and then they can watch it back as often as they want.
Oh, that's cool.
That's, yeah.
I
You can
love
explain as you
Zoom.
go along.
I love Zoom recordings. If they didn't do that for most of the readings, I would forget or lose 90% of the information, because when I'm getting a reading, it just is in and out. I have
Right.
to have it so I can watch it over and over and over again, because I always pick up something new every time I watch it.
And it's so important for me because with the hearing losses that I have, if I don't go over it several times, I don't catch it.
Mm-hmm.
I might catch this part, but I miss the next part while I'm trying to figure out that. Because with me, it's not a matter of hearing it and it's processing right away. It's processing what you're saying. Then I know what it is, and then I have to process that. So it's a double whammy. And so it takes me longer. I have to be able to see it over.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I do my reading, I look deeply into the symbolism of those cards. I'm not just doing the surface. So it's more like, it'll take me way longer than how long that Zoom message will be, to pull all the information together and to use my intuition to pull out of all that symbolism what I think pertains to that person that they're wanting to learn about.
Right.
The other thing I really liked about this approach is that, okay, say you feel, or you've been told that you have a past life in Egypt, or a past life working with Merlin, or whatever it is. That's another way you can do this. It's not just your bloodline DNA ancestors.
Yeah,
It's people that you
exactly.
might have lived with in a previous lifetime, people you might have known back then, or like they were talking about, a nature spirit of some sort. So the sky's the limit. We can have lots of fun with this.
I'd just love to know if I was a fairy at one time. I know I've been a dragon.
Yes, you were.
But, just all the different beings that we have probably been, and the millions of years that our souls have existed is just phenomenal. I want to get to know each and every one of them.
Well, I think what would be cool is
if 200 and some odd, it's going to take a while.
I think so.
And if we got, if people want to do this process, and then we start to connect the dots and see if we, where we are connected way back when,
Exactly. And wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
I think it sounds fascinating. Like I said, I want to participate for sure. I think there's lots of people out there that would be interested in participating.
Well, when I saw the validation that was coming through the cards, it just blew me away.
I bet. Just from what little bit you have shown us, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Very cool to have been a fairy.
What is a rump?
Okay.
What's a rump?
What do you mean by rump?
I need to understand that word. Rump to me is on the back end of a horse,
Exactly.
Who are you calling an arse, White Dragon?
Okay, White Dragon, you're going to have to explain lifetimes, is what he's saying.
Okay. Thank you. I know of it as food, and I know it's a horse. I don't know anything else.
Right. Or a rump roast, like,
Okay,
Sunday
so what
dinner.
was his point? Because I totally got to laughing about that.
It was saying that Merlin was
Saint
one of Saint
Germain.
Germain's. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
Don't
and
you
you've
love
worked
autocorrect?
for them, so
I've worked for
with
them.
him.
Merlin?
Didn't you work with
I
Merlin?
have no idea. I feel like I did.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was always fascinated with Merlin as a kid. Forget King Arthur. I was all about Merlin. I could have cared less about King Arthur.
I was more into Merlin too.
And when I lived in England, I had to go to Tintagel and all the places of King Arthur and Merlin and all of that, because Tintagel's where Arthur was conceived.
Right.
Supposedly.
And I've had a couple readings with Sun Psychic Jean, even the first one I think that she did with me. And she said that I had, she goes, here comes this dragon energy. And she said she goes, no, it wasn't your cohort. It was like I melded with the dragon. And
I've-
I've done some journeying since then, like shamanic journeying, whatever, and like flown around on the back of this dragon and been very integrated with him. So
That's exactly how
That's
our
what we do.
dragons are. That's
Yeah.
how we experience our
That's ours
dragons.
too.
We can either ride, her name is Matilda, and I can either ride her or I'm part of her.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Because she's
Esmeralda.
me and I'm her.
Yeah.
However.
Different names, different colors.
right. Well, check out John Benny's meditation today because
I will,
he
because
you
the
do
dragon
like
energy fascinates me.
he does like a growl, like that's part of your thing, to bring in the energy, like the dragons. It's really cool.
Oh, how fun. I'll
So
have to try that. That's cool.
I was watching him right before we came on.
And we'll have to see what they are.
Yep. That's right,
I
White
believe
Dragon.
it, White Dragon.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, you need to keep a foot in 3D. I remember I woke up one night because I evidently was traveling in my sleep. And I remember saying, guys, help me. I can't get back into this body. I can't get in. So I had to have help to get back in. So evidently I didn't have a good tether.
Wow, that's scary.
Wow.
But they did get me back in. I'm going,
But you don't have any trouble now.
no.
And sometimes, have you ever had it like when you pop back in, like you feel it, like like you almost jerk. There's
Yes.
that physical
Mhm.
sensation of like, well, okay, here I am.
Yeah, when I got in, I felt it when I came in, but
Yeah.
I haven't felt it since. I just said, okay, I just need to do a better tethering.
When I was younger, I used to feel it every time, just boom. But I didn't know what it was. Now I don't feel it at all.
Mm,
But when I was younger, I used to feel it quite often.
yeah, a lot of different energies give me a jolt.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and one of the things she talked about in the book was, say, before you go to sleep at night and you want to contact a certain ancestor or, ask for ancestors, you can write, like she called it a petition, write down a request and say, I would like for, whoever it is, or just a general statement. And then when you go to sleep, that might help you receive more messages that way.
Right.
Yeah,
That book
direct
is
dream.
fascinating.
There's Captain Morgan, our other pirate ancestor. Good afternoon, Captain Morgan.
Where's the rum?
Yeah, where's our rum? I could use a daiquiri. How are we doing on time, ladies? You guys want to do any cards today? Does anybody have
Certainly.
questions? Is anybody in the chat have any questions
For her?
for Juno? Let's see what T Barb has to say.
Yeah, interesting.
Wow.
I've had that happen too before. where I'm not sure.
That's possible. There's a lot of times I get woken up by somebody saying my name and I say, who is it? And nobody answers me. They wake me up.
Well, keep trying, And another thing,
Mhm.
let me see. I have some notes that I wrote down. Let's see if I have it handy here. Okay, so ways, like if you're wanting to do this on your own, I'm going to read off my notes here if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
The way, say you are looking to get messages from your ancestors, and you probably have all heard this, that you're familiar with these things, but it could be you might get a sense of smell, their perfume or cigarettes or rum, things like that. Finding feathers. If you wake up at the same time at night, or if there's significant events like lights turning on and off, or the TV or computer or radio turning on or off.
Smoke alarms.
Our smoke alarms go off.
My husband contacted me through smoke alarms.
Yeah.
That's because you're so hot.
We used to smell his cigarettes.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Cigarettes and coffee.
And your dad the same way.
Cigarettes and coffee.
Yeah.
My sisters, I can smell roses.
And she used to play Somewhere Over the Rainbow in my ear. I would know
yeah.
your sister was here.
That's
Is
how my
that
dad
right?
talks
Yeah.
back to me.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. I knew it was her.
My dad talks to me through rainbows, and what was really interesting is till he arrived on New Year's Day,
Mhm.
And I had gone over, her place is right across the street from me. And I had gone over because I was getting everything all set, like turned up the heat in the house so it was warm, and lit a candle that smelled nice and everything. And I got the sense, I wanted to spray this nice essential oil. So otherwise I wouldn't have known this. I came back to my house, and when I went back out, there was this rainbow right over her house that had not been there before.
Wow.
Cool.
And that's how my dad contacts me. So then I started crying and shaking, and it was just such an incredible sense of, and she saw it as she was driving in, and she was there within like 5 minutes, and that rainbow didn't last very long. So I wouldn't have seen it if I hadn't had that inclination to go, I need to get one more thing and come back over. So
There's always a reason.
There is. Yeah. There always is.
Rainbows are important. Hearing a certain song or repeating numbers, that like 555 or whatever those numbers are. They don't have to be what we think of as power numbers. It could be their numbers of their birth date or their death date.
I have the time of my daughter's birth that comes up all the time, 252, all the time. I see it everywhere.
And I see repeated numbers all the time.
Yeah, doesn't matter which number it is. I see repeated numbers all the time.
Lately, I've been seeing 555 everywhere, like for the last 2 weeks. And 5 is the number of man, and it's also the number of change. So
interesting.
Well, that makes sense.
What'd you say?
That makes sense. Man and change.
So this method, doing this ancestral tarot, can help you identify family patterns, discover messages from them, find out how to communicate with them, how you can honor them, and what you can learn from them. So like a lot of people I know will ask, well, what are my gifts? What are my abilities? And that's another thing that they can help you discover. Like you might find out, what I learned so much through this studying my Salem ancestors. And my mother's father was a beekeeper, and I found out through doing my ancestry that I'm descended from the first beekeeper in the United States. So it's just all really amazing, the things that you learn.
What did she say?
Although we can't change a man.
We just put them on pause, mental pause, right?
And anybody who tries to change a man is absolutely crazy.
That's right.
They are who they are.
Change anybody's absolutely crazy.
You are who you are, and everybody should leave you alone.
And why is it that it's always manifest? Why isn't it womanifest? Why is it manifest?
Womanifest.
Mm-hmm.
That's complicated,
isn't it?
Yes.
But then it's hysterectomy. Why all the way when you play around with the words, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it just pisses me off. The whole thing's so misogynistic.
Yeah, why is it a hurricane? Why isn't it a himicane?
I think it should be a himicane.
Well, at least
Let's
they
start calling them himicanes.
They have both names now, at least.
Oh, you mean like male and female names for?
Yeah,
that's true.
That's true. Yeah. They're trying to make things a little bit more copacetic.
Equalizing things out.
Yes. Yeah. I can see there can be some laws changed. There's a lot of men being in charge.
Yeah. Well, I think that's changing. I think
it is changing. Yes.
I really see a lot of hope in the kids, my grandkids' age, teenage or early 20s. They're just so on to everything. They don't take discrimination. They don't take injustice. They don't want to hear anything about it. We're all equal as far as they're concerned. And it's just a beautiful thing to watch.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Thank God for the youngins.
That's something that I hope spreads, one of those infectious things that I hope spreads.
I think it's beginning to.
Oh, I think it is too.
Mm-hmm. That's right. They did. That's why I said at least now they're using both.
But it was just like recently, in the
3
last
years?
5 years or so?
Maybe. Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah. That's okay. You want to call it Hurricane Priscilla? We'll show you what a hurricane's all about.
That's right. You ain't
I
seen
swear you
nothing
named
yet.
one after me. Oh,
You
God.
don't know what you're asking for.
Go for it. I heard there was one in the Gulf that's actually may turn into a storm. I was reading this morning some
I'll have to
kind
look.
that might turn into some kind
Tropical
of
storm.
tropical storm. I'm like, it's too
Yeah.
cold. How can it be a storm?
Well, it's kind
It'll
of
warm
like
up tomorrow, though.
yeah. When I used to live in Kansas, and they would predict snow, and it says no, it's too cold for snow, and it would get too cold to
Oh,
let
sure.
it snow.
It does.
Yeah.
Right.
It absolutely does.
Well, I know you ladies have doing. I'm praying for all those people in California that are affected by what's going on out there. It's just overwhelming.
It's
Yeah.
amazing that it's actually filled up lakes to 100%. I mean, reservoirs to 100% capacity out there. It's
Well,
it
I gotta
rained
tell
that
you,
much.
their drought was so bad that, okay, all at once was not really what they needed, but they
Right.
needed the water.
Yeah.
No, that's not it. Sorry.
What?
I was trying to get this one.
Oh, did he?
It's just-
Starfish? Look at Star.
Good one.
Is that right? Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I missed that one. Well,
Well, what's
shall
curious,
see.
we're in Arizona, we're really dependent on Lake Mead and Lake Powell, and they are not filling up. So
No, they're pretty dry, aren't they?
Yeah, there's a lot still trying to even itself out.
yeah. But we're starting to get the weather more today. A lot of like where I live in southern Arizona, we haven't had much impact from this, but it's raining off and on today. And I know Flagstaff is getting snow up north. So hopefully Lake Mead will start
Yeah.
because if that hits Deadpool, that's very problematic.
Yeah.
Well, we are really, really in trouble if we get snow here in Key West.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be. Hell has frozen over.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Hey, come on, you guys. You want to read some cards? I want to see some cards today.
Sure.
mind?
Is there anybody that want any?
Does anybody want a card pull out there in our viewer land?
And I won't just pull one. I'll pull three.
Okay. What about you? Is that good for you, Juno? A 3-card
Sure.
pull for
I'm
you
ready.
people?
Okay.
I'll just keep track.
Let me get which one do I want to do?
That's nice, Cherie. Let me know
We'll
if you
use that
guys
one.
want anybody wants a reading out there. I lied when I said there weren't readings, but put it in caps with emoji so I can read it with these 70-year-old eyeballs. Please.
Yeah,
There's
I have my
Starfish.
iPad next to me, which is why I keep looking down here, on my left, because that way I can see it.
Starfish is number 1.
All right.
Because my eyes are older than hers.
Oh my God, really, White Dragon? It snowed in Miami in 1977.
Wow.
Wow. That's amazing.
Well, I'm almost to the Mexican border, but we get snow here. But then we're up at 3,500 foot elevation too. So
Well, that makes a difference. Yeah.
yeah.
We're pretty much we're not very far off sea level.
We're
Right.
probably below.
Yeah.
No, I think my phone said we were at 10 feet. But
Something
I
like it.
actually think that is because it won't go any lower. Indigo, I've got you on the list. I got you starred, babe.
I have one more. Well, that card fell out. There's 3 cards.
So
Let's
this
see
is
what
for
they mean.
Starfish. Oh,
Do you want me to do 3 or just 1? Because I don't want to
3.
take too long.
I was
Let's
going to
do
do
3.
3. I was just going to put them all together.
Who are we reading on? Oh, Starfish? Okay.
Yeah, Starfish. Captain Morgan says something. Do you think the water at Lake Mead is being manipulated or being channeled elsewhere? I don't know.
Well, that's a whole other discussion.
Yeah, that's
Let's
true.
stay positive now. There's some weird stuff that's going on.
Yes, there's weird stuff going on, Captain Morgan. I just asked.
Yeah.
And it's definitely something off.
I
Yeah.
just don't want to go down that.
No, we won't go down that, but I think you're right.
Yeah,
And the
I
deck I'm
agree.
using is the fairy deck, the fairy tarot cards. Of course, I don't use them like tarot cards, but I like them, so that's what I'm using. Do you want to go first, and I'll go
Go
after you?
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I picked up 3 cards: the King of Autumn, 6 of Springs, and 8 of Springs. And I don't know what they relate to as far as tarot because, like I said, I don't use them like tarot. But it does say the King says that you need to be assertive when it's stuff that you know is true. So you need to speak
Your truth.
your truth, right? And everything is going your way. It also says you've got wonderful news coming. And the thing is that you do still have some stress because so much is happening right now. But basically, it's all wonderful news and stick to your guns. Okay.
Well, I know you can use some good news.
So that looks very positive to me.
Sounds good.
Sweet.
I'm using the Sword of Light deck with Archangel Michael.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what he's got to say today.
That's the same person that did this deck.
The Radley Valentine?
Radley Valentine. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Look at that.
Interesting you guys picked the same
We're in
author.
sync.
Yeah.
So the first card is number 19. Make a decision. Are you choosing to prioritize yourself or another in this situation? Accept divine guidance pointing you toward your own joy. You deserve it.
Lovely.
So that goes along with what Heather's card said too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the next card is number 40. You're ready for more. Your career is growing and blossoming. Now is the time to make the changes you have been contemplating.
That also goes with it. Everything's happening at once.
Look at that beautiful bloom. Isn't that gorgeous?
Yeah.
It is beautiful.
Got little lights in it and everything. And the third card is number 11. Embrace this magical moment. You are the perfect energetic space. You are in the perfect energetic space for manifesting miracles. Allow your wishes to be fulfilled.
I
All
say
cards
those
are
all
cards.
kind of go together. Yeah.
Well, starfish.
I'd
You
say
know,
that's
your-
pretty good for you.
Your life has gone through a lot of changes, and you
Yeah.
know, you put a lot of things on hold, but focus on where you're going
Mm-hmm.
and what's coming up.
Because you have a lot of stuff going on, and don't forget to stick up for yourself.
That's
When
right.
you know you're right, stick with it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I don't know. Can you see those okay? I'm not sure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they look great.
show up
Better than
beautiful.
what we can see mine because we don't have the card cam.
Okay.
And who is next? Or do you want to draw some?
Nope, I'm going to just do this.
Okay. Who was the second?
Indigo.
Indigo. Thank you. Oh, fantastic.
Indigo.
And
Oh,
starfish.
wait a minute.
says,
That was
"Thank
the first
you."
card.
Appreciate everybody being here today to visit
We
with us.
absolutely do. It's lovely to see everybody here today. If you want cards read, be sure and let me know in caps.
You can see those.
I can see the caps. Especially if you add little emojis.
And I can't see the chat, so I don't know what's all going on, but I know Priscilla's
Well,
got
if she
it.
puts them up there, we're in good shape.
That's why you want to be a co-host. So you can see the chat.
But the problem is I'm on a laptop and it's hard for me to see all that, you know.
I understand.
The distance I have to sit right now. It's heck getting old, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
It is. We have a 55-inch TV across from our table, our
And
desk,
I still have an iPad because I can't read it.
and we
Yes.
still have trouble reading it.
It's either too close or too far.
And no, it's just old eyes.
Yeah.
And of course, Starfish says, "Thank you, Juno and Heather." And T-Barb, I've got you on the list. I've got you starred. Those cards look so pretty on the mandala.
Yes. Go ahead or
Go ahead, Heather.
okay. Well, I drew 3 and it's the 8 of spring, ego, and 6 of summer. And basically what you're looking at is you're looking at some of the things that happened in childhood or older, but you're looking at them differently. So you're remembering things differently than what you were first did. And you do have the illusion of being trapped. But that illusion of trapped is because there's so much stuff going on right now. Okay. So it is an illusion. It's just that you have so much stuff going on, you don't know where to start. Okay. But a lot of it has to do with old memories and trying to find out doing your shadow work. Okay. But you do multitask well. So that's all everything's going to work out okay. There are sudden changes that you weren't aware of, but it's okay again. But don't place too much too much of your intentions on material things, because they just end up getting caught in fear and worry. So keep working on the work that your spiritual end, and everything will be fine. So
Nice reading. There you go.
And spot on.
There you go. Let's see what Archangel Michael has to say. Card 44, you will manifest what you need. Express gratitude as if your plans have already come to pass.
Yes.
Trust that your
Good.
angels are bringing you the assistance you need.
Yes.
That's like the best card ever, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love that card. And number 25, put your creative energy into action. Archangel Gabriel joins me to spark your creativity, help you communicate your vision, and motivate you to create something beautiful. These go right along with Heather's cards.
Yeah, looking at everything from a different angle. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
And Heather does beautiful paintings too. That Heather,
Mhm.
not you, Heather too. I mean, you do too, but
Two of us.
Here we go. And card 24, prioritize self-care. You do so much for others. It is time for you to experience the love you deserve and let others help you.
yippee.
Right.
Right on, sister.
And I think, especially as women, I think that's something that we need to be reminded of on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, it's
I
okay
agree.
to take care of ourselves or put ourselves first.
And in fact, if you don't, you run out of the energy and what you need to help others.
All right.
So
The old adage about being on the airplane and putting the oxygen mask on yourself first so that you can help others.
That's a perfect example. That's absolutely perfect.
Okay, there's one. They're just kind of flying out of the deck all by themselves today.
Some days it's like it.
Some days that's like that. 2.
I think
And
it's
this is
interesting we chose the same author for our decks.
I think
that's
that's very
interesting.
interesting. And you have an oracle deck, and I have a tarot deck. Is that correct?
Yeah. Isn't that funny?
Extremely. I was looking at that when I saw you getting them out. I says, "Oh, I wonder what that deck is."
That's brilliant.
And I didn't plan that the cards would match my mandala either. I just went, well, I asked which cards want to come out and play today, and they tell me.
And even my shirt matches your mandala.
What are you gonna do?
I love it.
All righty. Okay, we have the ego, which is this one, 9 of springs, and 9 of summer. And basically what they're saying is that you have the illusion of being trapped because so much is going on at one time. However, you need to protect when you go through your dark shadows and you get those things all straightened out, make sure you protect them. Okay. Because you've worked hard and you should be ready for possible challenges that lie ahead. Just going through it can be very challenging. But your wishes do come true. Everything works out in the end. So don't be afraid to do it. You know it's going to be great when you get done. You have dreams that are fulfilled. And actually, it can be a very magical time of your life. Just let it go, flow. Okay?
And you pulled, those are 2 9s, right?
Yeah,
So the end of a
9.
cycle, beginning of a new cycle.
right.
With the 9s.
Wow.
Very cool. Let's see what we got here for Cherie. Card 40, you're ready for more. Your career is growing and blossoming, and now is the time to make the changes you have been contemplating. So that's the same card we got for.
Yeah.
So your wishes and dreams are coming true.
Yeah. And allow yourself to blossom, Put a little blush on, get a little rosy cheeks going. It'll perk you right up. Card 41, your loved ones are safe. Let go of your fear and worry for your loved ones. I am looking after them. And I means Archangel Michael, just the
Beautiful.
greatest protector that there is,
Mhm.
Absolutely.
And that's another lesson in letting go, that worry doesn't get us anywhere. Know that they're
Doesn't.
protected and cared for, and that leaves you more time and space to focus on the things you need to be doing. And card 29, stay the course. Don't panic. You're not on the wrong path. You're just having a bumpy start. Learn from your experiences and keep going.
And remember, you're not really being overwhelmed. It just seems that way to you.
It's all a perspective and how we view that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Linda Sandoval. Welcome, even if you can't stay. That's good. Hi, Gina M. Thank you for being here, both of you.
She said that's spot on. This.
Okay. That's great.
I'm glad we are. It's funny how they agree with each other.
It's fantastic.
Isn't it? How we're in tune with each other.
Okay, T-Barb's next.
Hi, T-Barb. I like her avatar there.
I like that
She's
too.
gorgeous, isn't she? It reminds me of the album Bare Trees.
Yeah. Get some cards for T-Barb.
I can't believe I still have to squint on it, looking at a TV. I can see Butterfly Kisses because she uses all caps.
And she uses blue. So does Indigo Jaguar. They use a different color. If you're looking on this book.
I don't see a different color
up
here, but it's all caps, so it's easy to read.
It's like 2 fall out, and I have to come up with a third.
That's okay.
Yep. Oh. And you have 2 princes.
Wow.
All right. You have Prince of Autumn, Prince of Winter, and believe it or not, the Magician.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, very strong cards. So you've got happy news about your career, promotions, or stuff. Anything that you're doing, it's good news. It's well thought out plans that go perfectly. They just need a little push to get along. And they're saying to use your intelligence for your solutions. You need to act when you need to act quickly and decisively. Use your brain. And there may be some sudden and unexpected changes, but with the Magician, there's nothing you can't do. You have all the tools you need to do everything.
You go, girl.
So go for it.
Well, the Magician joins heaven and earth together. He brings those energies.
And you can manifest whatever you need to be a success.
Yeah. Very cool. Let's see what Michael's up to. Card 42, your prayers are being answered. Your prayers are being received by the divine. Answers will come soon, although perhaps in forms you didn't expect.
That's cool.
I just heard Prince. I was just thinking of Prince, the musician.
Musician.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if she's connected to, gets any messages from any of his songs coming through. Does she drive a little red Corvette?
I don't know. Do you, T-Barb?
Card 4, be a light to others. T-Barb is that, I must say. You have a powerful message to share. Shine your light on the world so that others can learn from you. That describes T-Barb to me, the T-Barb that I know. Awesome. Let's see. Number 37, welcome abundance into your life. Prosperity is on its way to you. Have faith that Source will heal your financial challenges. And that looks like a Prince, too.
What?
Red Yukon.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah, everything's looking up.
Look at all those. Yeah, lots of male energy coming through, looks like, too.
Yeah. So it's doing very, very well.
Shine your light, T-Barb.
Yep. Face
And
blue wide
next
eyes.
is Captain Morgan. Terry Suzuki drove a red Corvette. I can see that.
My brother had 2 red Corvettes.
I had a Camaro. My son had a antique Mustang that he
I just want
Still
to show
has.
that real quick. She says, thank you very much.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
Let's see what Archangel Michael has to say for Captain Morgan. I'm getting better at shuffling these cards with gloves on.
It takes time. I
We are
can tell.
getting some practice.
Yeah.
That's the one. Oh, let's see.
Well, while you guys are doing that, I'm going to tell everybody we have on Tuesday, our show is Living in the Moment. And then Friday, we're going to have Nancy Jean of Nancy Jean's Garden. And I think she's going to do a crystal grid for Heather. I believe that's what she said.
Cool.
So that's going to be an interesting show. And I just got my crystal grid, so I'm going to get to show it.
Beautiful.
Well, I have 4 cards. The first one is Awakening, and it looks an awful lot like Hanged Man. And it says you need to step back and look at things differently. Change the way you see things.
Perception.
Mm-hmm. And embrace your uniqueness. Okay? It's okay not to be like everybody else. And it also says to look at things, but don't make a decision now. Set it aside for later. Do some work and thinking about what you're doing.
I got research.
Yeah, research, but also I have meditation. That's going to help you with your answers for whatever it is you're thinking about. That, and you need some sleep and a little time off for yourself. You need to relax a little bit, get some rest so that you can think clearly. And then it says, do the things that you need to do for the right reason. Take a look at it. Do you want to do things conventionally, or do you want to do things your own way? But do it for the right reason, whatever you decide. Okay?
Interesting.
And going back to Merlin, and when I was researching the Hanged Man card, because you mentioned that first one reminded you of the Hanged Man, Merlin used to hang upside down.
Yeah.
It was another thing that he did to bring in a different point of view.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what we got here. Card 36, trust your angels. Let go of your expectations of how your dreams will come true. Trust that heaven has a perfect plan.
Sweet.
So that's like Heather was saying, step back and relax and, Let the angels work out the details.
Because they will.
Yeah.
Every
They do a
time.
great job at that, don't they?
Mhm.
This reminds me of a pirate. There's a treasure map. Card 32. The
Perfect
way
for
forward
Captain
is
Morgan.
open. You are not trapped. Possibilities and opportunities abound. I will guide you to personal and spiritual freedom.
Wow.
That's
Get
an
to your
excellent,
meditations.
excellent card for a captain, huh?
Mm-hmm.
X marks the spot.
That's brilliant.
What else does it say on there? Oh, it says joy on there too. So you will find your joy.
Even better.
Work your meditations. That your answers are there.
Yeah, let the angels lead you to your joy. Oh, look at this one. Card 3. Archangel Michael is with you now.
Wow.
Even though you can't see it, I am actively working on this situation. I am here and helping you. Wow, that gave me chills.
Brilliant.
Very
So
cool.
that's great. They're just saying, step back. We're here helping. Just
Mhm.
relax. Look at things a little differently. Meditate. You'll find your answers.
What a wonderful reading, you guys.
And with the map, I get like, write things down that you might want to manifest or whatever, and then set it aside and let the angels fill in the details and bring it to you. Don't obsess over each little thing. It's okay to make your treasure map, but then let it go.
Yeah, exactly. Let it
Relax
go so
it.
it can manifest. I think you might like this.
Oh, thank you. I'd be honored to be on with you, Heather.
Yep.
Thanks for the invitation.
Oh, he
Insomniac.
says he's an
too.
insomniac. Oh, that so sucks.
Yeah.
I've had periods of time. Go for
Good.
it, Captain Morgan. Well, that was our last one. Can you pull 3 cards each for the collective?
For the
Sure.
collective, you got it.
And what I do, if you want to, for insomnia, a little bit of Jinshin Jyutsu help is when I find I wake up in the night, then I hold my pinky finger for 5 minutes, and then I hold my thumb.
How do you hold your pinky finger?
Just grasp it, gently. Just hold whatever feels natural, and then just hold your thumb. And then if you're still awake, just keep going back and forth between the two. It really helps.
That
Thanks,
and
butterfly
the thumb.
kisses. I'm so
Thank
happy
you
you're
very
here.
much, Butterfly Kisses.
She's awesome. I love her little short videos and stuff that she's
You've got
doing.
great ones. I love her channel. And I don't know who, because I can't tell who is a moderator in there today, but please put up your channels if you're a moderator, or put up anybody else's channel. Since we don't have a troll today, maybe people would like to see Butterfly. I know your channel's wonderful. Please put it up. Anybody else that has a channel, I can't see who else in here with channels, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, there are 2 high cards in this. We have the High Priestess, the Justice, and also the 2 of Autumn. And basically what they're saying is, don't be afraid to bring some fun into your life. Okay?
I know we all take it too seriously,
Yeah,
don't we?
right. Bring it into everything you do. Juggling multiple priorities and gifts and things like that. We have a talent for multitasking, so we can do that. But make sure that you bring love and light into it. And the High Priestess is saying, trust your intuition. You have what it needs. Check out what you want to do and listen through meditation for anything that you might want. And Justice is saying, look at the details when you're looking through things and checking things out, because you're going to win, but look at the details.
Pay
To make
attention
sure
to
they're
the
there.
details. I
Okay.
love that.
And if you're using fair and objective decisions, you can't do anything but win.
Indigo,
Wow.
her Juno's email is in the description of the video. This particular video, it's right at the top of the page under descriptions. If you need her email.
Thank you. And back to Captain Morgan, I keep hearing that song, and I don't know who sang it, but it's "Ride, Captain, Ride on Your Mystery Ship."
On your mystery ship. I
Yeah,
remember that.
back from the 60s or the 70s. So maybe there's a
Yeah, I
message in
remember
that song for
Yeah.
him.
I
Might
can't
want to check
remember
it
who sang it though.
out. I like that song.
But for the collective in general, use your intuition, think about things, use wise decisions. You're always going to win, and have fun.
I like
What
that.
did, what did yours say?
Well, and if you hold your hands together in prayer position with your palms together, that helps you tune into your intuition. People are always asking, how can I improve that? So just prayer position really
Cool.
helps. So what do we have? Number 5, be honest with yourself. All your feelings, even the difficult ones, have a message for you. Accept your truth. Then let source take it from there, which is just what Heather was saying.
Mhm.
And then there's that 5 again. We're in a time of change. We're in a huge time of change.
We are.
And just go with
And
it.
it's
You
all
can't
for the
fight it.
better. As scary as it looks, it's all for the best.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Card 40 again.
Again.
Yeah, you're ready for more. Your
Mhm.
career is growing and blossoming. Now is the time to make the changes you have been contemplating. So let yourself bloom. And pretty soon it'll be spring. I know we're still in the winter months, but plan ahead. Spring's coming. Plant some seeds, even just spiritual seeds.
Hey, have fun.
Mhm. And I love this. Card 14, have no fear. Fear is
Wow.
a trap of the ego. Allow me to use my sword of light to free you from the disquieting feelings holding you back. And I think all of us can relate to that feeling right now.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So in
Fantastic.
Jyutsu, to harmonize fear, you hold your index finger. So if you're ever feeling scared, grab those index fingers and hang on. There
Blue's
you go.
Image.
Image.
I don't even
Yep.
remember their name.
I didn't either.
I just remember the song.
I just remember the song.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was by somebody I knew, but I don't know that.
Evidently
I don't know
not.
that band.
I wonder if they were a one-hit wonder, that
I
they had.
think so.
Yeah, they could be.
I think so.
Yeah.
Wow, great cards for the collective. Thanks.
Yeah.
Well
great.
done. Hey, Juno, thanks a million for coming today. I hope you'll come back.
It's so
It's my
great.
pleasure. I
And
love
thank you,
being here.
everybody in the chat, for all your input. We really appreciate when you talk back to us so we can talk back and forth.
Absolutely. And
So.
don't forget this ancestral tarot with Juno. Woo! That is really
Sounds
gonna
really interesting.
Yeah, I think that's gonna take off for you too, Juno. I think that's
My dog
great.
Comet's getting anxious. He's like, "Aren't you done?"
I know mine's the same. Mine was just barking, but she's
Out.
outside at this point.
Yeah.
Anyway, we just want to say love to all of you. Thank you for being here. Please go out and shine your light.
Everybody needs it so much.
We all need it.
And we send you all of our love, unconditional.
Absolutely.
So,
So, Juno, we love you. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you next time as well.
right.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I love
you
being
all.
here, ladies.
We love it. Bye, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Bye.